So stage one, I mean, of course you knew it was going to come up with us. It's going to be Cyberpunk 2077. I do own the game, and I do own it for console, so you can expect there's going to be a lot to say there. It's really difficult to know how, like, the right way to approach this. So before we go into all the bugs, all the refunds, the letdowns, the excitement or the disappointment, I think I'd like to ask everyone here a roundtable general idea of what you think about Cyberpunk as a release, and then also everything leading up to it. Because in my opinion, it was two different games, but we'll get there.
Personally, I haven't played it yet, but I have seen gameplay. Especially like the one I teased when they were like in the process of like programming it and all that stuff. Like we saw it like an in-depth look, and it looked pretty badass, and it was something that I really wanted to try out. Unfortunately, like Chris, he has the PS5. I don't have it yet. But it's something that I'm actually going to be looking forward to, probably holding off until I get my PS5. Because I've been hearing some crazy stuff about it. But overall, man, it looks sick. It looks like a huge like open world type thing where you can practically almost do anything, like from what I see. And I just like the futuristic punkish like style that it has to it, man. It's like, it reminds me of like a daytime version of Batman Beyond, pretty much, just without Terry McGinnis.
The aesthetic's tight. Will, your first impressions, earlier impressions?
So again, like Manny, I haven't played it. I'm looking forward to play it myself. I hold on because I wanted to get the best experience on this game. This is a game that was announced pretty much, I think it's like 8 years ago.
Yeah, it's been about 8 years, if not eight and some change.
So my big issue with this is, with all the controversy and everything that has happened, is, and how did this happen with a game that has been announced so far away? So to me, it's unthinkable. It's crazy. I'm very disappointed. Again, people are saying that on PC there's no issues. I mean, at least not as breaking issues as the console, but still, they had so much time to figure it out. So far, I'm looking forward to playing it still. I'm gonna wait until they fix everything. Keanu is there, so I was like extremely high because of that. So I mean, I'm just curious about what you have to say, Chris, about this. That since you play it on console, just let me know how bad is it.
Yeah, so just first off, if you're living under a rock, or if you just watch us just to listen to us talk about whatever we want to talk about, Cyberpunk came out pretty busted on console. It's also pretty buggy. It's decently buggy on PC, but the graphics on console, or last gen console, which would now be PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, they look terrible. They look like a mid-tier PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360 game at best. I am so you probably already know, but so I'll talk about my experience. I wasn't going to buy it because I had no interest in not playing it with the PlayStation 5 overhaul that it'll ultimately get for next gen.
Yeah.
But my girlfriend wanted it, and she texted me, said, "Hey, I'm going to buy Cyberpunk." I said, "Cool, I'll get the overhaul later." But because she has it, and because it is such a cool game, I've played it a good bit. I will say on PlayStation 5, she's put in, I mean, at least 25 hours by this point. Damn. And has reported maybe 3 bugs, 3, maybe 4. And 2 of them were so minor they were just basically, walking away. She really experienced her first game-breaking bug today, and then since she's on PS5, she was able to restart it in like 15 seconds or less.
Okay.
But it's ugly as hell. It's the first thing that I was telling you guys is launching this game. I mean, putting it, next to Miles Morales, Astro's Playroom, Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition, just anything that's actually next gen. When you boot up and you were looking at Cyberpunk 2077, even on the PlayStation 5, I mean, it sincerely looks like an Xbox 360 title, and it is jarring. I mean, it takes me out of the immersion. It's awkward. And as far as I know, I mean, I think it'd be a good roundtable for you're talking about how could this happen. My only real guess, I mean, I could try to have a few, but I assume that they designed this for PC, and then kind of we're gonna let console just sort of be left behind a little bit. And I've seen a lot of people compare it, like a lot of people are saying, just to nip this in the bud pretty early. I know there is a popular argument on the internet for, yeah, but look at God of War, 7-8 years ago. Look at Spider-Man 5-6 years ago. Well, the problem with that argument is those are console exclusives that were made from the ground up for console. So I don't really have any interest in entertaining that argument. I'm more curious how it came out busted. Like they could have just not released it for console right away. As a matter of fact, don't know how we haven't talked about this yet. Both Xbox and Sony are offering full refunds at any given time. They're both and then Sony has removed it from the store.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
wow.
finally are offering refunds, man, because there was like a huge controversy with that. The game was breaking. CD Projekt Red was telling everybody, "Hey, just ask for refunds, just ask for refunds, just ask for refunds." Sony has one of the most strict refund policies there is in the gaming industry. Like you pretty much click on the button to buy that game, and the deal is done. It's really hard for you to get a refund when you buy a game to the Play Store. So they were not pretty much offering refunds at first. Then they did a few refunds based on case by case basis until they decided to remove it completely, which is insane. You know how many PlayStations are out there in the wild?
That's what I was gonna say. It's the least they can do is give you guys people refunds, especially since a lot of people are dying to get the freaking PS5 now, and then all these bots and all that stuff are pretty much ruining it for everyone else. It's the least they can do at their part for what's going on right now too with that.
With that move, man, pretty much PlayStation said, "Screw you, CD Projekt Red. You fix this shit. Oh, you cannot sell this on my platform." And here's the thing, man. Pretty much all the team from CD Projekt Red went home after they finished the game for holiday vacations and stuff. They were being overworked, of course, trying to finish this game and get it out of in time. Now they have to go back pretty much, I believe, sooner because
I think there's already been 2 patches.
I'm telling you, every day that this game is not on the PlayStation Store, that company's bleeding money.
It's especially crazy. And I have 2 quick things. Because I would like to talk about the actual gameplay at some point. But if you got or are getting a digital PS5 for Christmas, you're just not going to get to play Cyberpunk. And there are some players like my girlfriend who has 0 interest in frame rate or resolution, and she got up early today to do all of her errands so she could just play Cyberpunk today. So, I know a lot of other people are loving it too, PC users as well. But yeah, man, taking it off the store is a crazy move for this AAA game that everyone's been looking. There's a very popular channel I won't name that used to do bi-weekly Cyberpunk updates for years because people have been looking forward to this game for so long.
It's been 8 years, man. I believe there's a lot of channels pretty much based solely on Cyberpunk, probably.
Yeah, I'm sure. But yeah, it is. So it's just
It is one of those lifetime events. Like you see like a company like CD Projekt Red, which pretty much is valuable to the high standard. We're looking at a company that brought up The Witcher 3, which was an amazing game, and then seeing them struggling so hard and losing consumers trust and confidence, and it's just horrible to watch. And the thing is that they deserve it. That's the only thing I can say. They freaking deserve it, because how do you release a game like this? No, it doesn't work, because these type of bugs, these type of issues that people are experiencing, I'm not saying everyone, I'm saying the ones that are experiencing it, which is a big majority of people.
I think it's most PS4 and Xbox One players. Most of them are getting them.
There's no way that quality control over there at CD Projekt haven't noticed these issues before release. There's no way. I believe they were lying. I believe they didn't actually went through an adequate quality control, and they just released it because of the pressure. I don't know if it's pretty much investors or CEOs or whatever the hell was pretty much pushing this game to be out. It wasn't ready. It wasn't finished, and whatever backlash you're getting, man, they deserve it, bro. They have to deal with these consequences right now, man.
I'll tell you guys, whenever it gets fixed, I don't know, 6 months, 4 months, 8 months, the game's really cool. I mean, it is. If you were to look at the trailers and assume everything was to run perfect, it's exactly everything you'd hope for.
Yeah.
So
I'm sorry to interrupt
glaring
you.
downfall. No, yeah, go ahead.
I imagine that it should be amazing. The thing is that having a glitch or a bug that every, I don't know, every hour or so puts you out of that immersion, because that game is full immersion. That
Yeah.
game is a one, basically much a one player game, an RPG story, and you go through it and you get to live this world, which man is right, is really a cool cyberpunk world. Like we don't have that many games that are based on this type of aesthetics. Like I would like more steampunk, I would like more cyberpunk like RPGs. I believe the only one we had back in the day that was really famous was BioShock. It was like a semi like kind of steampunk type
Oh
of
yeah,
game.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
supposed to be getting a new one of those.
Yeah, but this is more modern
Ooh.
cyberpunk. Oh, that's good news. That's good to know.
It's just a small leak, but supposedly new Bioshock for next gen.
But I mean, we were all craving this type of game for a long time, and for us to be this disappointed, that sucks. And here's the problem, though: I want to play this on PC, and now all the bugs, the little crannies and things they had to fix on PC, I had to say goodbye to them, because I know that the majority of people that work at freaking City Project Red will invest all their man hours and time to get the freaking PlayStation 4 and Xbox One console game ready and working. And forget PC. PC has to wait for with all those bugs for a long time until they get this up and running, because they're losing money, man. And then my game is gonna be screwed because of that. It's just insane, man. It's a really crazy world right now when it comes to this.
It's a mess. I won't be. I'm not gonna be. I've only played it really mainly out of curiosity and for this show, because I saw it immediately and went, oh, what? No, I don't want to. That's not the game that I was sold.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Exactly.
it just feels wrong and ugly, and it just doesn't. I mean, it feels like an alpha game that you'd get on. I mean, it's not that bad. I'm describing it poorly because the gameplay is inherently good, but it just looks so dumb, and I don't know. I'm really torn on this one, and it's really hard to disappoint me. Like, I mean, I'm pretty easy to please, but
So
I
even
had a few people. I'm sorry to interrupt a minute. I have a few people that have played on PC, and they're saying that it's great, that it's amazing.
It
but again,
is.
the majority, like you, don't have a PC. The majority is PlayStation. So sorry about that, Manny. Go on.
no, you're good. No, because I was gonna ask, even though like I know like Chris wanted to go into the more of the gameplay now at that point, but I was gonna ask,
Yeah.
like, even though we all have like our reserves and all that stuff, and especially you, since you have firsthand experience, besides like the shitty quality of the game, like what are your most favorite things like about it now, even though you played it kind of briefly, but what stood out more to you when you were playing this game?
So they did build a really just huge huge world with character building, because it is built it's based off of like a 1970s or 1980s almost like Dungeons and Dragons game.
Mm.
So the character creator is, I mean, enormous. You put skills in like so many different types of skill trees that matter at all times. Of course, you have the 3 different life paths. It's like Street Kid, Corpo, and Nomad or something. And it, like, let's say if you go Corpo, you're like respected more in the business world, and you can talk your way out of situations.
Oh, that's cool.
So as far as those sort of Fable, Knights of the Old Republic type of games where you're choosing your own storyline, this might be the best one ever made if it was finished. But yeah, that part really screams to me. The gameplay is like Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, but even better. Of course, better than Fallout 4. The gameplay is really cool. I mean, everything connects, very satisfying. The enemies are cool. Keanu Reeves, I've seen a lot of people that say that his acting fell flat for it, but I disagree. Just is Keanu Reeves, which is really cool.
Okay.
And the world's huge. It's about 2 times or a little bigger than 2 times Grand Theft Auto 5.
Look at that, man.
Oh,
That's
dang,
insane.
dude.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I had to look it up. It's at least twice as big as Los Santos.
Jesus, dude, that's crazy.
And I believe their end goal is probably at some point add their multiplayer, have people like live in this world, create their characters, build their cars, build their empire, get their money, work in this world, like the same way that Grand Theft Auto Online does it online. But again, they cannot even think about that without fixing the freaking game. There's no.
And it really is. I mean, if I could get myself in a moment or a perfect situation in the game, which I have a couple of times, I am like, wow, this is a phenomenal 10 out of 10 game. The fact is I'll very quickly snap myself out of that moment. And if any of my friends asked me if it was worth it right now, I would tell all of them no. It's just not finished.
That's a shame, man. That's a shame. And that's the thing. You have a team working for a game for almost 10 years. And to have a release like this, you know how tainted all those years of work end up to be, because you will be remembered because of this, on how that game came out. That's why I don't understand developers nowadays that want to release things half-ass. I mean, finish the shit, finish it. Just make sure that it's in good stead, that it works, that it actually represents your vision. Because at the end of the day, this is your art. This is what you want to show. If you show us crap, well, you're gonna be remembered by showing us crap, and then you become a crappy company. It's mind blowing that business wide they decided just to taint the name of the company, because of profit. That just breaks my heart, man.
My final words would be, and it's going to sound sarcastic, which I mean, I assure you it's genuine, but the sentence is going to sound so odd. If you don't have a higher end gaming PC, and even then I would maybe recommend waiting, because if you have one like Will, you're probably waiting until all the little boxes can be checked off.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait, man.
But if you're the type of person, because I'm dating one that owns an Xbox Series X or a PlayStation 5, and you do not care about graphics at all, it's pretty awesome. It's pretty playable.
You can only get it right now from the Xbox website, though. You cannot get it from PlayStation.
You can buy the disc still if you have the physical PS5.
Oh, that's true.
But you're going to be comparing it to the Astros, which comes on your console and looks a million times better. It's you're getting a 2 times last gen experience, but with current gen gameplay. I don't know. It's weird. It's an uncomfortable.
Like, what the hell am I playing? Am I playing Cyberpunk or am I playing Snowboards Kids 2? Come on.